Hey, welcome back to the channel, and I want to share a story out of DC about a 13-year-old young man who was killed at almost 4 o'clock in the morning, and the cops have said that they do believe he was breaking into cars with two other people who they did not see or have not found. And the guy that shot him and killed him was a white guy and I believe a state employee. But I'm going to play the news clip so that you can hear it. And then it's also going to show his mother. The young man is Karan Blake. Well, his mother is on the news and she's saying some things that I really want to kind of dissect and talk about. But I'm going to let the news clip play based on fair use, and I will follow up with my commentary.
Everybody is like, what is he doing out at 4 a.m.? Like, would y'all feel better if it was at 4 p.m.?
Breaking her silence for the first time, Karan Blake's mother in Northeast D.C. Fox 5's Stephanie Ramirez joining us live with the latest. Steph.
And first, just want to go out and look at the layout of the land here now that we have court information released in this case. D.C. police telling us that the longtime D.C. government employee arrested and charged with killing 13-year-old Karan Blake lived here at 1033 Quincy Place Northeast. Police saying that they found the 13-year-old in a mulched grass area in between 1033 and 1031. But we learned yesterday that police actually believe 41-year-old Jason Lewis actually shot at a parked car first, that vehicle right at the entrance of the alleyway behind me here. Court documents saying some of Karan Blake's last words were, "I'm a kid, I'm a kid." Now, today we did hear from the first time from the mother and attorney for 13-year-old Karan Blake. The mother speaking out saying that she thought her son was at home, that parents can't always watch what their kids are doing, and sometimes kids have to grow up a little bit faster than others. We did ask London Blake about previous interaction that we're told Karan had with the court system, and if she has any message she'd like to share with other children. And this was some of the emotional response she gave in her answer.
We're not going to be there every single time or at every single, like anything, at every single moment, you know? And my son, he was a young man. I count on him. You hear me? He helped me in my household. I don't live with a man. I live with me and my 4 children. He was the man of the house. That's who helped me. And he took him from me.
Attorney Brian McDaniel says in on what Karan was doing, arguing that the focus should be on what the adult did, shared with Fox 5. It's hard to make out, but according to court documents, the movement seen in front of 1033 Quincy is said to be 41-year-old Lewis here, Jason Lewis, the longtime D.C. Parks Department employee, going just beyond the front gate area of his home. Then you see a flash in the video. Again, hard to make out, but what you can't miss is one person running away. What police say is the getaway vehicle leaving in reverse. And then according to court documents, 13-year-old Blake is then seen first running toward the getaway car, and then he turns to run toward Blake. Police saying Blake was not armed and did not go onto Lewis's property. The shooting happened just before 4 a.m. January 7th. London Blake says she does not know the other two that her son was with early that morning. She did not have any words for them when asked. Police did say that they were breaking into cars. The chief of police asking them to come forward.
First of all, I want to say rest in peace to the young man, Karan Blake. Sounds like he may have had a rough life in those short 13 years. But what I do want to say about what the mother said, she said, well, of course, would you rather have it happen at 4 p.m. instead of 4 a.m.? Well, no, he shouldn't have been killed. However, the chances of being killed at 4 p.m. are a lot less likely than 4 a.m. But I do want to just point out how she said that this 13-year-old was the man of her house. She has 4 children, and this baby is 13, and he is the man of the house. And I've seen this happen before as far as a woman considering her teenage son even preteen, to be the man of the house, when these are kids that should be enjoying life, that should be playing baseball, basketball, kickball, something, karate, doing something, or on the chess club, something other than adult things. They are not responsible for a household. They are not responsible for children that you have created with some man. That man is responsible, or those men. She has 4 children. I don't know who they all may have the same dad, and I don't know her situation. The man could have died. I don't know. But it is not a child's responsibility to take up the slack when you don't have a partner. That's why we should have children in wedlock, of course. And these women that get on that "I don't need a man" kick because you've turned your son, your preteen son, into your man, that is a problem. Some of these young men are out here committing crimes, stealing, robbing and shooting people because they're trying to help their mama. And meanwhile, mama is saying she don't need a man, while all the while she does need a man. She needs that extra income. She needs that extra support. She needs that extra discipline for the children. But she can fall back on my son. He always helps me. Your son shouldn't have to help you at 13. That is putting these babies in a grown-up position, and they are not smart enough. They're not wise enough to be in an adult position. Let these kids be babies. Let these kids grow up. Let these kids do young men things. He ought to be talking on the phone, or, you know what I'm saying? They're doing things that young men do at this point, not things that older guys have to do because they have a household to take care of. They got a wife to take care of. They have children to take care of. That's not a 13-year-old's place. Then she's up here advocating for it, saying some children have to grow up faster than others. Why? Because you've made poor decisions? Because you have 4 children that need to be taken care of and you can't do it on your own? Maybe you need to get a more cooperative spirit and be able to work with a man. Because despite all of the stuff they say as far as men leave these women alone that already have children, blah, 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 there are men that are willing to date women with children and marry them and go on and be successful. Don't let social media fool you. I've seen it. I'm not one of them. I'm not in that situation. However, I have seen it everywhere. Men being a stepfather to other people's children. So sometimes you need to work on yourself to become a good partner so that you can get a good husband, a good man in your life, so that you don't have to do it alone and you don't have to put that stress and pressure on your child or your children, because there are some mothers who put that stress on their children and they know they're out there in the streets robbing and selling dope. But they turn a blind eye because they need help. They need the money. They can't keep the lights on by themselves. And instead of making sure that they're fit, making sure that they're cooperative and not trying to control everything or control a man, they would just rather have the young men in their house that they can control, and that's their sons. And then they get the sons get locked up or they're killed in the street. And then you got mama crying because she lost her son, but she also lost her help. And part of those tears are because now what am I going to do? He used to keep my kids. What am I going to do? He used to put in on the light bill and the gas bill. Now what am I going to do? Instead of just being able to mourn her son, she's mourning the loss of a partner and son. That's not right to put that pressure on these babies. And if you look at those pictures of Karan Blake, look at the sadness in this young 13-year-old boy's eyes. I know a lot of boys and young men don't just smile on the picture, but there's a light in their eyes. You could see that their life ain't full of stress and pressure. They're having fun. They love life. But when you look at this young man's eyes, it tells a different story. This young man looked like he had a lot on his back, a weight on his shoulders. And this man, instead of trying to meet up with a girl, sneak out and go meet a girl at 3 a.m, which he shouldn't do anyway, especially if he had some real guidance over him. But let's just say, he was trying to do that. Instead, he's out 3, 4 a.m. with 2 other people trying to break in cars because he's trying to get that money, trying to get things so he can keep himself looking nice, so he can help feed his family, so he can help with the bills and help mama. That's not right. And this is not going to work. And this is unfortunately what we see happening in these streets. When you see 14-year-old and 16-year-olds killing each other in the street, a lot of times this is what's happening at home. There's no father there. The mother is relying on these young boys to be their spouse and to take up the slack of a spouse. And that's not right. Children should not have to be out trying to make adult decisions, trying to be miniature adults because of the mother's shortcomings. She may need to get another job. She may need some help from elsewhere, but it's definitely not on these kids to become little men that haven't matured. The brain doesn't mature till you're 25 and he's 13. So he has a long way to go before he's matured to an adult level. And he's taking on adult problems and he's trying to do what he can as a 13-year-old to bring money in the house and live up to this man of the house title that God only knows how long he was given. But let me know what you think in the comments section. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Until next time, peace.